I don't know about you, but I find it so hard to read books. The idea of just sitting down and reading is just not me. And I know you need to read books. And I know it's important to read books. Even in the army, they tell you, read the regulation. But it's so freaking boring until we have now what we call audiobooks. And I am such a big fan, especially when I go running. Instead of listening to music, I just listen to a book, and it just makes my mind go wander. And if you're a runner, a wandering mind is a good thing because you're not focusing on how far you're running. You're actually just focusing on listening. Next thing you know, you already ran 5 miles. So in this video, I'm going to recommend 5 books that I absolutely love. I'll put all the links in the description below so you can check it out. It's an audiobook. For me, I have a subscription, so I get credits every month. And I just use the credits to download these books on my phone, and I listen to it when I'm actually running. So here are the 5 books that I highly recommend. So here's the first one. This is by Jocko Willink and Leif Babin, called Extreme Ownership. The premise of the book, the entire concept of it, is lessons learned in the Navy SEAL operations that they've conducted in their career. They took the concepts and packaged it wherein it's applicable to the corporate world. Every chapter starts with a military operations. Some of them they succeeded, some of them they failed miserably, and they learned from it. And then after that, they transition over on how it actually applies in a corporate setting. The second one, this is a classic. This is an old book. I tried reading it. I couldn't get into it, but when I listened to it, I got into it quick. The first 10 minutes. It is How to Win Friends and Influence People. I love this book because in the army, as you lead, you basically influence people, not controlling them. If you look at the army's definition of leadership, it's not to control or to give orders. By doctrine, it says leadership is the ability to influence others by providing purpose, motivation, and direction while improving the unit. So I'm paraphrasing. It's centered towards influencing people. The third one, for most of you, you probably know this author. His name is Sinek. It's called The Infinite Game. This book is phenomenal because it redefines the meaning of success. We make decisions on our 50-meter targets. What impacts us now? How do we define winning now? Today. This book kind of changes all that, changes the very definition of success. It describes that winning is a long game.
Infinite games are defined as known and unknown players, which means new players can join at any time. The rules are changeable, which means everyone can play however they want. And the objective is to perpetuate the game, to stay in the game as long as possible.
It focuses more on the impact rather than the short-term success. And I don't want to give too much about the book, but just give it a try. It's a great listen. Number 4, this actually I came across when I saw a lot of YouTube videos about motivation. And there was one that Denzel Washington quoted in one of his speeches in one of the college graduation.
I want to fall forward. I figure at least this way I'll see what I'm going to hit. You will fail at some point in your life. Accept it. You will lose. You will embarrass yourself. You will suck at something. There's no doubt about it.
It's about failing forward, failing fast. So this book is called Failing Forward by John C. Maxwell. It's a New York Times bestseller. You'll never go wrong with this book. It talks about how you use all those failures that you have in your life and using it as a stepping stone. Lessons learned, if you will. And a lot of people are scared to fail, but the fact is, failing is essential for you to be successful in the future. Great book. Here's the last one, and it's probably my favorite. It's because the tone that this author uses. It's by Mark Manson. I gotta warn you though, there's a lot of profanity in this book, but it's such a great book and captivating. It's very relatable. You don't even have to be in the military to read this book, but it definitely helped me out in my career. I used some of the concepts in this book to create a training for my own soldiers. This book is very unconventional and it uses a direct approach. In this book, I urge you, take a listen for just 5 minutes and you'll automatically get hooked and you can't stop listening to it because it's so, like I said, relatable. And I really had fun and enjoyed listening to this book. So those are my 5 audiobooks that I would recommend if you're doing PT, you're running in the morning, or you're driving, especially when you're driving long distance, when you're PCSing somewhere. These are the 5 books that I would recommend. That being said, stay new, read these books so you can learn a lot more. This is the High Speed FNG. I'll catch you in the next video.